Defense attorneys say that they will appeal the convictions of former Penn State assistant football coach Jerry Sandusky. A jury in Bellefonte, Pennsylvania, deliberated over 2 days before convicting Sandusky of 45 of 48 charges of child sex abuse. Armen Keteyian is in Bellefonte with us this morning. And Armen, good morning to you.
Good morning, Rebecca. The verdict came after about 18 hours of deliberation. A jury of 7 women and 5 men delivering a resounding confirmation of the prosecution's case.
Time and time again, the jury foreman, a middle-aged man with silver gray hair, recited the same word, guilty, ringing out like a gunshot in a dead quiet court 45 times. Jerry Sandusky standing, left hand in his pants pocket, staring at the jury box. Outside Center County Courthouse, a huge cheer arose from a large crowd when the news broke. Pennsylvania Attorney General Linda Kelly taking the podium to declare justice for 10 young men had finally been served.
This defendant, a serial child predator who committed horrific acts upon his victims, causing lifelong and life-changing consequences for all of them, has been held accountable for his crimes.
The guilty counts included 8 of the most serious charges: involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, each count carrying a maximum of 20 years in prison, 9 of unlawful contact with minors, another 20-year maximum, and 10 of endangering the welfare of a child, 7 years max. Sandusky was found guilty on all 6 counts related to victim number 1, now 18, who broke down on the stand as he testified to being repeatedly sodomized by Sandusky beginning at age 13. Another emotional accuser, victim number 4, suffered years of sustained abuse and found solace in 5 guilty counts.
I believe the jury acted genuinely. I believe the jury acted in good faith.
Lead defense attorney Joe Amendola said in the end, a mountain of Commonwealth evidence was too much to climb.
We had an uphill battle. We were attempting to climb Mount Everest from the bottom of the mountain. Well, obviously, we didn't make it.
Moments after the verdict, Sandusky's bond was revoked and he was immediately remanded to jail. As he was escorted from court, he took one final glance to his right, to his wife of 45 years. Dottie Sandusky and her family hugged and broke down in tears. Jerry Sandusky will be sentenced within 90 days.
As you mentioned, Rebecca, the attorneys, Joe Amendola, saying they will appeal this case, but right now Jerry Sandusky faces more than 400 years in prison, meaning almost certainly he will spend the rest of his life behind bars.
And Armen, you were there in that courtroom when the verdict was read. What was the scene like?
Well, it was very tense, and that tension just kept building minute by minute over about this 15-minute period before the verdict came in and Sandusky eventually was escorted out of the court. I was about 5 or so feet away from Dottie Sandusky, watching her very closely. Early on, she was just blinking her eyes. Very soon after that, those tears began to blink into those eyes. And as Jerry Sandusky left the courtroom, the Sandusky family just kind of broke down. They were all hugging each other. It was interesting, though. Dottie Sandusky was really the strongest one of the whole group. Outside the courtroom, it was just chaotic here with the cheers and all the interviews that were going on, but just an absolutely drop-dead emotional moment inside that courtroom when those charges, like a drumbeat, kept going guilty, guilty, guilty.
Armen, has there been any reaction from the family of the late Penn State football coach Joe Paterno?
Anthony, yes, late last night, almost immediately after the verdict, the Joe Paterno family issued a statement, and I will read it in part. Although we understand the task of healing is just beginning, today's verdict is an important milestone. Our thoughts and prayers continue to be with the victims and their families.